It was kind of like my first love, a little bit. It's one of those things, you know, you have to choose it every day. You have to choose to go to practice and to give your all and to not give up. And it reminds me of love in that way, because you do, once the honeymoon stage is over, you choose it every day, even though you may not like it all the time. You know, there are mornings when I get up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I am tired. I'm questioning my life choices right now. But, you know, you get up and you go to practice and you have either a good practice or a bad practice, and you just keep going. And you just keep choosing it. And you put your effort into it, and you get tangible results with the amount of effort you put in. Not always the ones you want, not every time, but you get out what you put in. It's one of the few things in life that you can kind of count on to do that. I'm Megan Smith. I'm 33 years old, and I am training for the 2024 Paris Paralympics. I'm an S11, which means I'm a completely blind swimmer. I started swimming when I was 4. I was obviously not competitive then, but I do remember being in swim lessons and enjoying that a lot. It was interesting for me because I didn't know what to expect. I don't see the water. And I've never seen the water. So I just didn't know what it was and how I was going to adapt to it.
Water was a really good equalizer for her. She could get in and swim around and just be safe.
So everybody moves slower. Kids that are playing in the shallow end, they're moving slower. That helped her. She can hear them move because you can hear people move in water. So
and it's sensory. The water is, you know.
There's a lot that made it the equalizer. She decided to swim herself. She is probably the most independent of all our kids.
Yeah, there were times where, because she was little and blind and cute, that people would baby her. And I'd be like, oh, you know, she's not a baby. She's a little girl. She wants to be independent. And it was important to her as well, you know, to be like everyone else.
People make assumptions or stereotypes or put me in a box or oftentimes underestimate me. I don't think of myself as Megan the blind person. I don't really identify with my visual impairment very much. I'm just a person, and I don't mind if people refer to me as blind or visually impaired or anything else, because it is a part of me, but it's really just a part. I think that's partly why I push myself so hard to be really, really competitive, and I gotta be really good at this, and I gotta try really hard because I get underestimated a lot. And low expectations can be very damaging on a person because they can start to make you feel like that's what you are. I didn't start competitively swimming until I was 15. As a freshman, I was like, well, I should get involved in something, and so I was in choir, and one of my friends was on the swim team, and she was like, you should do it. And I was like, well, I'm not really sure how that's gonna work, but sure, okay, I'll try it.
Megan and her friend decided, went to the coach and spoke to the coach, and then Megan came home and told us. We're like, what? You're joining the swim team? Oh, okay. And I said, is the coach okay with this? You know, because it is a lot to take on a visually impaired swimmer.
We didn't really know how to make sure that I didn't run into walls or lane lines or people or anything.
I mean, for her, swimming was a contact sport. When she first started, it was hit lane line, hit all the way down. And then as she got better and better, you know, she got straighter and straighter and on one side and the other side, you know, swimming correctly. Yeah, and then, you know, word gets out when you have a blind swimmer in the para community. So somebody came down from Salem at the beginning, and I think they helped the coach figure out, you know, tapping, because she doesn't see the end of the pool, so they count strokes or they tap the swimmer to do the flip turn. And so they came down and helped and sort of kept an eye on her, how she was doing throughout, and that helped her.
I remember watching the Olympics as a kid and being like, man, wow, I want to do that. But I never thought it was possible. I never thought to myself like, well, sure, I'll just be in the sighted Olympics or the able-bodied Olympics, whatever. But the Paralympics was a new thing for me. I didn't know about it. It wasn't really known then. It wasn't publicized. There wasn't documentaries on Paralympic people or news coverage. So I did a little bit of research on the Paralympics and how that all worked, and I decided to try for it. At the time, my times were good enough that if I worked really hard, I could make the 2008 Paralympic team. My trajectory was fairly quick, because I knew I didn't have much time. I had about 3 years until trials. So I worked really, 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 really hard and got pretty good. I started swimming year-round, and I started getting in shape, and I started to get better at swimming, and I went to nationals the next year, traveled internationally, lived at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, and then they took my race away 6 months before trials.
For S11s that particular year, they only had a few races. She was not a sprinter. She's more of a distance swimmer. The race that she had available to her, I think, was 100 meters.
So I had 6 months to become a sprinter. And I tried. I got into the weight room, I put on weight, I put on muscle, I tried to mold my body into something that I had not really been training for. And I dropped a lot of time in those events. I did. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough time. It wasn't enough notice. It wasn't enough.
At the end of the trials, there's an announcement, and if your name is called, you're on the team, and if your name is not, then see you later, and we'll you know, and that's it. See you later, and you have to, and so it's very cut and dry, and it's hard in that way because you know your hopes are up to that very minute, and then they're sort of dashed.
How did that feel after training for something for so long? Just for them to, you know, it just seems so unfair.
Unfair would be a good word for that. But it's the Paralympics. It isn't necessarily meant to be fair. It's meant to be competitive.
I think when she stopped swimming for a while, the music became bigger in her life.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I write my own music, I play, I sing, I play piano, I play guitar, ukulele, and a little bit of drums, but I didn't get super proficient in that.
Really, she can play any instrument that she picks up. She learns very quickly.
That song was called On 3. We are Charming Tempests. It's nice to see you all here. This next song is one I like to call Rosie.
Well, she has loved to sing since she was a little girl, and she loves to be on. She's always loved to be on stage.
What's the matter, Megan? Are you afraid of the storm? Well, sort of. When I'm afraid, I always think of my favorite thing. Raindrops on roses and whispers on kisses.
I was always kind of not getting negative attention necessarily, but it was always for something I didn't have. So it was, the attention that I got was always for like, well, you know, she needs to learn Braille. And, well, she doesn't know where she's going, so we need to figure out how to teach her that and teach her orientation and mobility. And it was always about being blind and about something I didn't have. And singing and performing for me became a way, even that young, I kind of was like, wow, this is a way to get people to see me for what I can do.
It was a while, yeah. I was surprised actually when she said she was back swimming.
12 years later,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, but just swimming, I thought, well, that's great. It's good exercise. You meet some people, fun.
I thought I was done. I really did. I really thought I was just like never gonna go back to it again. Like maybe do laps or something, maybe mess around in the water and stuff, but I never thought I'd be here again.
Good effort, though. Great effort. Hey, don't be afraid, Dad.
What brought you back? Do you have like a specific moment that you remember where you're like, I'm gonna try for this again?
My coach, Taylor, he saw me as a real competitor. And okay, yeah, I was a little bit like, I'm not done here. I have unfinished business. I want to make the team. I want to do it. I want to be an Olympian.
Now, very good start again, just enormous shoot off the blocks from Bruinsma, but Pagonis has got off to a really good start and an underwater that helps.
There are a couple of other S11, so other completely blind USA swimmers who are pretty fast right now. They're a lot younger than me.
The hype is true. She is a sensation. She's 17 years old. She breaks her own world record.
They haven't taken 12 years off. They have decent times, and some of those events that I do, they also do. So we might have to switch it up at the last minute and do some like off events. I'm not really sure. So every race that you do is at trials will be ranked against world record times, and if you're within a percentage of that, they will take you based on how many allocations we get as a team. We're thinking the 400 free. I was ranked 3rd in the world at that at one point. We're just gonna see where I would fit in best.
In the last 2 years, we met 2 years ago in June, I've seen her body, we all have on the swim team, just transform into this, powerhouse. So she's just getting better and better.
I'm just trying to keep it fun I'm trying to concentrate on the journey, which is sometimes really hard. The world has gotten a lot faster, and I have not. But that's okay. I'm working on it.
This woman's doing the deal. She's no joke. And I still do, and I always from the get-go believe that she will make it. I believe it. Because she won't quit. She just won't do it. You have to get your flip turns down or your turns down. So the coach has some stress too, to make sure that tap is just perfect. You know, again, you could lose by a fingernail with 4 years of working hard.
I want to figure out how to swim to win. I don't want to swim not to lose. The last few weeks I've really had to take a look at why I'm doing this and what's motivating me. Is it extrinsic or intrinsic? I think, to my surprise, a little bit, a lot of it is internal motivation, which is surprising to me because there were so many outside factors that kind of prompted this comeback.
All right, Heavenly Father, thanks for a great time together. Thank you for the food. Thanks for the fellowship. Thanks for the film crew. Thanks for everybody here. We love you, and we're just full of grateful hearts for you. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
What I want for her in the future is to be happy, to feel successful. That's what you want for any of your kids. You want them to feel successful, feel confident, and be happy. So if she has those characteristics in her life, that's what I want for her. And it doesn't define success, it just defines what I want for her. How about you? You said you weren't going to do this.
I know.
It's okay. Yeah?
I just want her to have love and joy and
Sure.
love and joy. Be happy with life. It's the one life she has.